Jupiter and Neptune aspects. And this aspect is expansion of your divinity. It's expansion of your psychic abilities, expansion of your unconditional love, expansion of who you are, which is spirit, a life force. So this is all about the energy healing. So this is a very great placement. This could be your ultimate world root. You're gonna span your divinity and spread your spirituality to everyone, and that's through being an example of what love is. And so yours is the ultimate giver. So with this aspect here, we're talking about Jupiter conjunction to Neptune also as I speak. Conjunction is Jupiter blend in with Neptune. So I'm going through all the aspects. So when Jupiter conjunct to Neptune, now this is a very powerful placement now. Because it's fire and water. Expansion. Like universal love, universal gifts. Your psychic ability is big. It expands. So you want to be the world healer and want to help everyone. And you're so nice, so kind. But you also a free spirit. And you definitely don't need to be under no one, because this is very big, strong energy. And this energy, you got your own way of healing, your own way of helping, your own way of serving. And so this here, you can take on a lot of emotions, a lot of feeling, because you're super sensitive. Well, you can be so sensitive until you can just feel every emotions in your bone, in your whole being of somebody else, not only of yours, but somebody else. And you're very emotional, very sensitive, but this also that happy, that joy, like upbeat, love life type stuff, because Jupiter is excited. And then you got Neptune, it's spiritual excitement. Spiritual about everything is spiritual to you. Everything is divine. So this is a very good placement right here. Because this placement here is those who are your master teachers, your healers, those who do the Reiki energy, healing and stuff like that. Those who are your psychics, your empaths, your clairvoyants, those who are your clairsentient people who clear field the energy, clearly see the energy, which is clairvoyance. Those who clearly hear the energy, which is audio, and those who clear know the energy, clear knowing, which is claircognizance, the ultimate knowing. So you definitely get downloads from the universe. You connected to the source, not separated. You connected to the source, not separated from the source, because you can't help it but to get downloads of information out of nowhere, where you can feel somebody vibe. You know what they're going through. You know their pains. And like you don't forever live, like you don't live 1,000 years before time, because that's the wisdom that you possess. You like the old soul that came into the body, into existence, to help, to heal, and to give. And also you can go through it and harm yourself with this energy, because it's so powerful if you don't do the right thing. It's your choice of how you move with the energy. But the energy is so powerful, you can't do nothing but be cheerful, happy, and excited about life. And sometimes you could go to the screen with your happiness, go to the screen with your divinity, with your faith, with your belief, and you can also be a martyr. Yeah, this can make you a martyr, so watch out for that. A martyr, and want to die for a cause, somebody going through, you want to help everybody. You don't even really care about money. Money ain't even the issue. But see, this is where you need discipline, where you do, because you do got the ability to get money, but money ain't your ultimate source. It's your divinity. By you knowing I'm here, I love life. You know what I mean? You appreciate who you are. You know that you're powerful. You know your psychic gifts, your psychic awareness. You know the powers you have. You probably see spirits, or have dreams of the ancestors, a dream of your deceased family members. So you had all type of things, psychic visions, psychic dreams, and you experience the spiritual world. And so you the type who are always seeking to find your divinity, always seeking to have something to believe in. So being spiritual, believing in a higher power, believing in God, believing in the universe, believing in something is very powerful to you. And this is like a need for you to have faith, because you can crash without faith. And Jupiter give you that faith. Jupiter give you that scrim. So you can be a superhero to somebody. You have people who always idolize you because you're very creative. This creative power, very creative skills, and you're stylish. You're stylish in a spiritual way. So stylish ain't really what you care about, but you're gonna represent your divinity. So yes, you're the one who got many ways to heal and help people. And just by you being in somebody's life, They like that cool, kind energy because you accept this of others and like that there. So you just got to be careful not to take on everybody's energy because you pick up on so much energy that you can play. It can play out that you're taking on somebody else's energy and it's not your energy. It could be somebody who bad and toxic, or who you around who negative. You're around these people. You take on their energy, you start acting just like them. That's why your environment is very important. You got to be in a positive environment, a peaceful environment is very important. Even if you got to separate yourself from the masses to get yourself right. And you got to learn how to discipline yourself and stop being over giving and over, trusting people and having love for everybody. And because these people can take your kindness for weakness and use this against you and try to rob you and hurt you, harm you. And now you can go through, you wonder why they did you like this. You know what I mean? You can feel betrayed. And you might want to isolate yourself. Don't even want to be near somebody now because you feel betrayed. You know what I'm saying? But Jupiter, since you got Jupiter there, it's going to have you stand right back up because Jupiter is confident. Jupiter got confidence in itself. Jupiter got confidence. So with that being said, with this big old attitude, you think big. Think big in a spiritual way. You know what I mean? And so this is why, like, you take on the world problems and the world solutions, and you want to find a solution to the world problem. Even you might want to, you know what I mean, be the one who be the world's savior, a savior who can save the world. But once you understand how divinity works, that you can only save yourself, the only thing you can do is put wisdom out there because you deal with wisdom. Because Jupiter is the philosopher, wisdom, and the poet. So your philosophy and your poet is spiritual and it's self-help. So you all about the self-help. So this is when you got Jupiter conjunction to Neptune. You all about self-help. This is part of who you are. This part of your soul, essence, deep down. So you definitely divine. So nobody could be able to be the great shaman, the great speaker. So some would say preacher, or nobody can be the great one like you are. So your divinity is very important. Have some faith and be able to trust the universe for everything is what you're here to do. You're here to trust the universe for everything, to have faith and not worry and be stressed out, because with Jupiter, you ain't got to worry about that because Jupiter helps you stay in your element, because Jupiter is happy and it's happy with Neptune. So it's happy being spiritual because Jupiter is spiritual itself. And so you are the type who definitely do your own thing. You don't operate off nobody else's ways. Like other people might be religion, but you're going to do your own thing because your spirituality is very important. But you're going to do it your way. You're not going to follow nobody else because you know you are the one who get information from the source. And you can see through the BS because you are definitely a psychic who intuitively aware and intuitively know your intuition is on fire and is on point. And you're going to use this all throughout your life. Even without you knowing, you're going to use your intuition because you're going to go by your own into knowing and feeling and what you see and what you understand. So you're the type who can see spirits or even got ability to talk to spirits and be a medium on a big scale. You can do it with some everybody. Your luck deal with your divinity. Your luck deal with spirituality. So this is your luck. This is your luck. So when you into spiritual things, this is what your luck is about. So this is wisdom through psychic ability, wisdom through spirituality, wisdom, and it's the expansion of spirituality, the expansion of psychic ability and gifts, the expansion of showing love, being an example of love, and the expansion of giving, so you can overgive. So watch out for that. It's because people always call you and take your kindness for weakness, and you can give everything until you have no balance and no discipline and have no money for yourself. You can crash yourself while you're in this world. So now, with this being said, you're super emotional, so watch out for snapping or taking so much energy, somebody else's vibrational energy, until you crash. Because you definitely pick up on everybody's vibes. You can pick up the vibes of a whole crowd, a whole room, anywhere you go, a whole store of energy. And it can drain you. It can really bring you down, and you can think that it's yours, but it's not. But since you got Jupiter and Neptune, Jupiter give you wisdom to know that this is not your energy. This is somebody else's energy. So this is when you got Jupiter conjunction Neptune. And that's why everybody should listen to this placement and how it play out through all the other aspects. Because I done gave you the breakdown basically of Jupiter and Neptune. So this super creative powers and expansion of creative powers, you continue to get better and better and grow bigger in your creative powers. And you create as I create the waves. I don't ride the waves. I create the waves. So this is what this is about. You create your reality, and you have whatever you visualize and whatever you think you will manifest. It's in you. You're magical. You the one who here to put the elements together and work your powers through your healing hands and through your wisdom of astrology, numerology, through tarot reading, and through any type of reading. Also psychic vision and through what you feel. You here to read the energy, vibration, because you can see through people more than anyone. And you the one who stay in the water. And your water is pure. You like peace. You need that peace. You need that balance. You need to feel comfortable around people. You need to feel loved. And so your love, since it's Jupiter there, you don't really need it like that because you understand that you love yourself. You got a big complex, but you are the type who fun loving, always creating something new. And so you like to have fun. Your fun will be in a spiritual way. Everything to you, even dancing, will be spiritual. Arts, dancing, music, everything will be spiritual. So you could be into the same thing. You could be a musician, you could be an artist, and things like that. You're so empathic to energy until you just might cry because you can feel somebody's pain. And when you take on the world problems by picking up on that energy, so you can just feel it in your veins. And sometimes you get tired, you get drained, and you don't want to feel no more. And so you become escapist. And so you get into drugs, alcohols, or any addiction to escape what's really going on in reality. So watch out for that. And we're going to go into the squares of oppositions when it comes to that. But right now, this still is Jupiter conjunction Neptune. So beauty is part of your soul essence. You like everything that's beautiful, everything that feel good, all the energy flow, because you feel like life. So this is what this is about. Neptune is a higher vibration of Venus, so Neptune want to feel super good. Venus is the good life. Neptune want to feel super good. But Neptune also, you can be with low vibrational beings because you want to help them and you feel like you can help them in some way. Because Neptune want to be somebody's savior, especially with Jupiter, with the big complex. Jupiter is the warrior spirit, that energy, that fight energy, that's adventurous and explorer. So every time you explore something and it's knowledge, looking for information, researching and hunting for information is part of who you are. It's part of you growing. So knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is part of who you are. So all your life, you're going to be the one who love wise lines of philosophy, who love poets, who love music, who love art, beautiful art and beautiful things and beautiful people and beautiful souls. And when it's not beautiful, that's when you got the justice spirit of Jupiter to come in and want to chop that down. So it's gonna play out. I'm gonna show you how it's gonna play out through the squares of opposition right now. But right now, I got to go through the other aspect before I get there to the squares of opposition. Now, this is just Jupiter conjunction to Neptune, because you are charming, you are beautiful, you are very persuasive and influential. Now, when we talk the sextile, how it play out through the sextile, because the conjunction could play like it's a opposition, a square, a sextile, or a trine. First I'm gonna do the trine. The trine, when you got Jupiter trine Neptune, this is your gift. This is naturally a part of you. This is what's naturally a part of you, who you are. And so all of what I said about the Jupiter conjunction Neptune, this is your gift. Or Neptune conjunction Jupiter, this is your gift. This is your gift. So which means that it's so easy a part of you, so naturally you was being creative, with being psychic, with being loving, being nurturing, being caring, and being the giver. It's so naturally a part of who you are. Until you can forget this part of you. You can it's so easy to you because you do it naturally, and it's your natural reaction that you can lack in this area. You could be stuck in a rut where you don't want to be a healer, where you don't really want to be super creative or something like that. You might watch other people be creative instead of using your power. Or you might try to imitate others when you are creative and you're here to set your own trends and use your own creative skills. So, because it's so easy to you until you might get tired of that. It's so simple to you. Like Being a psychic will always be a part of you. You know what I mean? Picking up on people's energy, be able to read it. It's easy to you. So you might be the type who just do it for free, don't want to make no money or something like that. Who don't want to prosper, even though that what psychic ability is about anyway. But it's so natural to you till you can forget the essence of it, or you might don't use it that much. That's what this means. You can lack it. That's just how easy that this gift is to you. Because nasty part of you, all of this. You inborn psychic, inborn divine, inborn happy, inborn cheerful, but you can go to the screen. But since this is your gift, you can lack in this area, because when something is so easy to you, you're like, this nasty in me. This is no problem. Somebody else, they might have trouble, but you ain't going to have no trouble. Now, that's how it play out through the trine. Now, Jupiter sextile Neptune, this is your potential. Your potential. The energy is there because this is your energy. You just got to activate it, and you got to go a little bit more, get more into it. It won't be hard for you because it's an easy aspect. You just got to tap into it and go for it. And so when you go for it, you have all of what I said about Jupiter conjunction Neptune and Jupiter trine Neptune. You have all everything I said about it. You have all the psychic gifts. You have super creative powers, and you be very divine and very spiritual. That's why it's good to listen to all of Jupiter conjunction Neptune and everything about this video, because you see how it play out right here. Everything I spoke about it, once you activate it, it'd be easy to you. You'll grow into it, and you will become the positive side of Jupiter conjunction Neptune. Everything I spoke about it. You will become the master psychic. You will become the spiritual teacher and the healer. You will become the creative powers. You just got to activate it because this energy is there. That's part of you. You just got to activate it. So once you activate it, all you got to do is go for it, and it'll be easy to you. See what I'm saying? So you got to grow into it. You can teach people about self-help, self-love, and show them how to grow into their divinity. And you definitely will be an example of love. And you appreciate it more because you had to put just a little tiny work, but it was easy. It really ain't no work. You just had to activate it, or it worked like this too. You would grow into it in your later years, or as you continue to move on, you would grow into this. That's all it means. It's your potential, the potential what you could do with this power. And when you do use it, what will happen? And when you do activate it or go into this energy, so boom, seeing spirits, having psychic dreams, a part of who you are. Talking to the dead, all this is part of who you are. And seeing, being clairvoyance, clairsentience, and being spiritual, being creative, and why you always want to create and do projects is part of who you are. That's all it is. And this is your potential. Now, everything I spoke about, the Jupiter conjunction Neptune or Jupiter trine Neptune, this is part, once you grow into it, this will be part of who you are. Or once you activate it or grow into it, this will be part of who you are. Now, and these are the good aspects, the easy aspects, which is the trine and sextile. Now, conjunction is basically it molded into who you are. And the conjunction can play like a sextile. I mean, you can play like this your potential and act like you're a new jack to this energy. Or you can play like it's a trine and forget that that's a part of your gift. Or you can play like a square where you can go through it when dealing with this aspects. Or you can play like an opposition where one can fight against the other. So now, when we talk about sextile, Jupiter sextile to Neptune, this means that, not sextile, Jupiter square, my fault. Jupiter square Neptune, when Jupiter square to Neptune, this means that Jupiter have a hard time with spirituality. Will go through it to reach its divinity. Jupiter, the energy is there, but Jupiter will have a hard time being creative and put your work out there, expressing yourself, or you might overly express yourself. See, it ain't balanced. It's like either lacking or you overdo it, or you be over spiritual, be so obsessed, and want to always drill spirituality in people's face until you violate people to turn to hate. And also you could be one who hold a grudge, a big grudge, and really snap or really go through it, or you could really break down or really cry or really don't want to reach your destiny because you're going through it. But you see spirits, and you might don't know how to handle or take how spirits coming at you by seeing spirits, and you know you got the psychic ability and gift, but you might don't understand it or can't control it because it's so powerful. You might let it overtake you and over control you when you got Jupiter square Neptune. This is how it operates. This is what you will go through, and so You have trials and tribulation with Jupiter square to Neptune, to where you're trying to find yourself. You're always seeking and trying to find yourself, trying to grow into it, but you struggle with it. But sooner or later, you will get your niche. So with this placement here, this makes you very powerful than the other aspects, because with the easy aspects, it's aesthetic, because the conjunction is the strongest aspect, but you be even more powerful than the easy aspect, because you have to go through it before you get right. So once you control yourself and use your gifts and understand your gift and use everything you went through as a tool to teach a lesson to people and to understand people, you'll be the most psychic person in the book. That's the thing about the squares of opposition, because some of your most successful people who have a lot of squares of opposition is the ones who succeed. They work and they get there. So this about. It's nasty a part of you. You will go through it when dealing with this, when dealing with wisdom. It might be hard for you to stay on wisdom or to stay on the right track and stuff like that. But after a while, you will get your niche. Once you work for it and you go for it, you will be the ultimate psychic. You'll be better than all the other placements, because all this will be a lesson to you. You'll be the best psychic, the best healer, the best at astrology, numerology, all that there. All divination and metaphysics will be a part of you. You'll be able to teach all of that and be good at it, because you'll be hardcore with it, because with all you done went through, all the battles, all the pain you took, you probably been in mental health and suicidal situations. Like, you've went crazy, having mood swings and always snappish. And once you learn how to control yourself, you become that power, that source. And so that's when you change yourself, change your life. Like everything you done went through, all the snapping, all the, going against authority figures, and all this here. Those who are spiritual master teacher, bucking against them. So this placement here, after you go through it, you'll be one of the best psychics on the planet. Because anytime you go through something, this makes a person more experienced in the area, and they can use their experience as a tool, or their past as a tool to teach people and to tell stories. So you be the best storyteller. Because Jupiter is a storyteller, and Neptune is a storyteller. This is for the whole aspects, all the placements. Jupiter connect to Neptune, definitely storytellers. You will be one of the best storytellers to give a true story of yourself and how you grew and what you went through to reach your divinity. And this could be inspiration to others. So you be the ultimate helper and giver, and like to explore other countries and like to know people's thoughts and different people, different spirituality or divinity, different religions. You want to know about this, know about that, and research and dissect and bring the truth to the world. So now, this is how it play out when they got Jupiter square Neptune. So after you overcome everything you went through, you'll become Jupiter conjunction Neptune on the positive side. And Jupiter trine Neptune, sextile Neptune, and you become all of this. Not only is your potential, you manifest it in your life, because it's all was there. You just had to control yourself. Now, when you got Jupiter opposition Neptune, Jupiter opposing Neptune, you would definitely be fighting. Jupiter and Neptune will be fighting against each other. They'll be opposing thoughts, opposing divinity. So you definitely would probably be mentally ill and snappish about your divinity, because you're so sensitive. You're so sensitive, you can be snapping about this, snapping about that. You can go through about this, go through about that on a big level. When you go through it, you can really explode. This could lead to big explosions, emotional explosion. Because Jupiter go to the screen. So with the squares of opposition, Jupiter and Neptune could explode on a big level. Because Jupiter is a strong, brave spirit too. It's fiery. So it can be warrior-like. So you can explode on the downside. Or you could really speak bad. Because Jupiter like to talk. Because this placement right here, these make great speakers too. Great speakers, great talkers. And those who can play roles and stuff like that, great actors, and those who are comedians. And so you got Jupiter conjunction, Neptune could be comedians. The same as the trine, people who got the trine, people who got sextile, this whole placement, people could be comedians. And so with the squares of opposition, they will go through stuff like that before they become all that. And so they can be able to be the best at what they do. And so you could be the type that don't like to laugh. It could be very mean and want to go against those who laugh, or go against those who, especially those who claim religion. You could always want to challenge those who against religion and stuff. When you do it, you can go to the screen when you talk trash or talk dry about people, be very blunt. And you don't care what nobody think. So you might don't even spare no one, and just speak the truth. Go on and on and on. Don't care about people's feelings and nothing like that there, because you done lost all sight of your divinity, because you don't even care about spirituality, because you fight against it. And also spirituality fighting against wisdom. You might don't want to live by wisdom. You might be kind of like slow light or going through it. If not slow light, you might be very smart but overdo it until the point till you run it in the ground. You run your divinity in the ground. You run your knowledge in the ground. And you run your present in the ground. You all that. You know what I mean? And play like you all that. You this and that. And so with that right there, you will have trouble, because people could come against you in a big way. You know what I'm saying? Because Jupiter is big, so people come against you in a big way. Or you can come against people in a big way until you crash yourself. So if you don't arise through the squares of oppositions, beautiful people, you're going to crash yourself. So you got to wise up and change sooner or later. The energy is there. It's part of who you are. You just will go through it. They got to change. So with oppositions, you got to understand that Neptune could be your helper. Neptune is good to help you ascend to your highest power. So once you understand that, you will win. Once you understand that there's a balance, and Neptune, use your Neptune energy to blend in with Jupiter, this is when you will win. You become the Jupiter conjunction Neptune placement. On the positive side, you be the master teacher, master healer, the sage, the gurus, the Buddhas. You know what I mean? You be the divine one. You actually use your power to help, to heal, to massage. You be a therapist, a massage therapist, a counselor, a guide to the world. So this placement here, all the aspects that I'm speaking of, y'all could be great healers, great teachers, great counselors, great social workers, and y'all definitely people persons. Y'all great, y'all good with the people. Y'all know how to entertain the people, have fun with the people. And so once Jupiter stop opposing Neptune, you have all of the traits of Jupiter conjunction Neptune, the trine, the sextile, all those on the upside. So boom. So it's just that Jupiter will go through it with spiritual things, find its divinity, and will see the devils and might hear voices and have mental health problems and stuff like that. And if it's not that, if it's not that, Jupiter could overdo it. You could overdo things, like overdo your divinity, overdo your welcomes in life, and think you're showing love, but you can smother somebody's presence with love until they get tired of you and stuff like that. You can overdo things until you can scratch your creative powers and people face so much, or put your divinity in people face so much, and it can be a show off and a braggart right here, and people don't like that. So once you master this part of you, the Jupiter opposition Neptune, this is when you win. This is when you win. So with this aspect here, if you embrace this power, you would definitely become the Jupiter conjunction Neptune, because it'll blend in. You just got to bring these two together and blend it in. It's up to you to do this. The energy is there. It's your energy. You got to bring it together and learn how to control your energy. It's very powerful and have vibration like a volcano. It's like explosion. So you just got to be able to bring this energy together, and this is how you win. This is all I got to say. Is I can't bring this light gets to redder than this. I shake.